Have you guys ever had your heart broken? Have you ever been in a relationship and just thought, how can I make this work? So today I thought I'd make a video about some relationship advice that I've picked up over the years watching my friends and family go through rotten relationships, and since I've been single, I've kind of been able to observe it from the outside looking in. There's been things that I've seen that I've kind of picked up on, and I wrote it down and said, hey, let's make sure I don't do that when I actually find someone that I want to be in a relationship with. So the really big one that I like to put a lot of emphasis on is never stop saying I love you. I feel like if you get to the point in your relationship when you stop saying that, then something's wrong and you guys need to back up and take a look at your relationship and see what went wrong, because I feel like if you're not saying I love you, it's because you're not feeling it anymore. And if you're not feeling it anymore, you either need to fix the relationship or just back up and end the relationship. Because if you don't love someone, then why would you be in a relationship with them in the first place? Now, when I say take a look at the relationship and see what went wrong, I'm not saying that you should try to change the other person or have them change you. It's really important that you don't change for someone else, because they fell in love with you because of who you were before you met them. And if you want to continue that relationship, then you need to stay true to yourself and don't try to change that person or yourself to make the relationship work. If you get to the point in the relationship where you are both being yourselves and it's just not working out, then it probably wasn't meant to be. I cannot put enough emphasis on playing games with each other. There's no point in having games in your relationship. If you're feeling something or if you're upset, don't try to make it a game of making someone guess what you're feeling. Just put it all out on the table and just be transparent, because a relationship requires both parties to be in open communication for it to work. And if you guys are trying to play games and trying to get someone to guess what you're thinking, it's not going to end well, I promise. Every single one of my friends that I've seen playing games in their relationship has never lasted long or has made things worse. So don't play games. Another thing that you should never do is set ultimatums in your relationship. You should never tell someone that this is what you're going to do or the relationship's going to end. This is what you're going to do or this is going to happen. Because at the end of the day, what you're doing is you're telling someone they have to change, they have to do this, and honestly, if you're at that point in the relationship, it should just end anyway, because if you're having to set ultimatums for someone to do something, then the relationship's dead. So another thing I'd like to put emphasis on is if you're doing something that you feel like you have to hide it from your partner, then you're probably doing something wrong that you shouldn't be doing, and you should probably stop. I am 100% for being open in a relationship, letting them know exactly what I'm doing all the time. I should never actually be somewhere where I don't want my boyfriend to know where I'm at. So if you are doing anything like texting an ex-girlfriend or ex-boyfriend, or if you are talking to someone in a way that you don't think that your boyfriend or girlfriend would be okay with, don't do it. It's that simple, because if you really love someone, you're not going to do anything to jeopardize your relationship. I've seen so many of my friends' relationships end because their boyfriend or girlfriend found messages from some random other person, and it hurts. It really hurts when you find stuff like that. I most definitely have been in situations like that as well, and it sucks. I've been in relationships where my boyfriend would be texting and then get a text and turn away from me so he could respond. As soon as that happened, I was just like, okay, what are you trying to hide? And it turned out that he was texting another guy in a flirty way, and yeah, so the relationship ended. I would say another really important thing is never have important conversations or fights through text or over the phone. There's such a disconnect through text messaging that there's no emotion sent with the text, and you really don't know what the other person is saying and how they're saying it. If they're saying it out of anger or if they're saying it out of love, you don't know, because emotion is shared through the eyes, through the facial expressions, and through body language. And if you're not getting any of that, you're really not getting the full impact of the conversation that you're having. So promise me, if you guys are ever in a fight, don't do it through text. And if it's something that needs to be done right away, I guess a phone call can work, but I would say if you can drive to them and have that conversation, do that instead of over the phone. Because once again, even a phone conversation, you're still missing key factors of the conversation, which would be facial expression and body language. So some good things that you guys can do for relationships, since a lot of these were things that you don't do, some things that you should do would be plan fun dates. Don't let your relationship get stale and boring. Honestly, I will say that my relationships, I'm always trying to find something new or plan something that I know that my boyfriend would really like to do. And that's the fun part about the relationship. I will say, when you're planning fun things, don't plan fun things that you like to do, just because that doesn't mean that your significant other likes to do them. So if you're going to plan something fun for them, and they can plan something fun for you. Therefore, it doesn't seem like you're just doing the planning for yourself, and they realize that you actually care about them because you know what they like to do, so you made plans around that. Another thing that I wanted to add before I let you guys go is making sure that you give compliments. And it's not compliments like, oh, you're pretty, oh, this and that. Make sure that the compliment actually means something to them. Say, hey baby, I love it when you do this. And say something that they've actually done that is something that not everyone else in the world does. I mean, an example would be the person I'm talking to right now. I love it when he is kissing me and pulls me closer, and I don't know, that feeling just like sends chills up my spine. It makes me feel closer to him, and it makes me feel special. So I let him know, because one, I want that to keep happening, and two, I want him to know that he's making me feel good with something that he's doing. Another thing that I like that he does is when he texts me good morning. It's nice waking up from a text from him, and it just makes me feel good. So I let him know that I love getting text messages from him saying good morning and good night. And I try throughout the day to message him and ask him how his day's going, just because I want him to know that I do actually care what is happening throughout his day. So I hope you guys like this video. If you've got any advice for me or advice for everyone else about relationships, comment in the box below. I'd love to hear it, and I will talk to you guys next week. Bye.